Hi guys, welcome to this session where we'll be discussing, we'll be basically implementing what we have learned in time series, and we'll be looking at a use case from John Deere and Co. Now, let's try and go through this use case from what I have given over here. So, for those who are not aware, John Deere and Co. is basically a tractor manufacturing company, and these guys are world leaders in tractor manufacturing. They have presence in India as well, and they are a US based company. Now, the problem that the company is facing here is that they have some amount of revenue from the current fiscal year. They're expecting some revenue from coming in from the next year. What they want to predict is basically what is the kind of fluctuation that they can expect in the sales, right, over the coming years or over the coming months or quarters, so that they can basically optimize their production. They can keep their inventory cost low, and also understand what kind of consumer behavior is out there. Because if we really need to understand what are the number of tractors that the company should be manufacturing, we should be looking at the demand in the market, right? So it is important for us to first understand what is the kind of growth or decline in the number of tractors that should be manufactured, or the tractors that should be sold in the upcoming year, so that the company can factor in these things into their production, into their inventory management, as well as into understanding their connect with their different farmers, and the impact that it eventually will have on marketing, right? So let's begin with this. I mean, you can just go through this problem statement, and you'll get a more idea of what I'm trying to say here. So let's just dive into it and start with importing some libraries that we need for it. So we'll start with import warnings, then some libraries like import iter tools to iterate over our data frames. Then we'll import pandas as PD, which is a standard library for our for our data frame of operations. We'll import numpy as np, which is for working with different type of numbers. Then we will import statmodels.api as sm. So these are some some libraries that we'll need. So statmodels.api provides you a host of functions that you can use to build predictive models. It also builds logistic and linear regression, but we'll be primarily using it for time series in this case, right? So let's import for time series. We'll import statsmodels.tsa.api as smt. We'll import stats models dot formula dot api as smf. From io import string io. So this is just if you're taking a string as an input. So this is not actually a requirement, but we'd like to make it more intuitive what we are trying to do here, and that's the reason we're importing this library. Let's import requests and import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Percentage matplotlib inline. So this is just to print your graphs into the browser window itself, and we'll just initialize the style of the plot that we want to use. So we'll call it bmh, right? So there are a lot of other styles that you can use, but I am importing this. So let's import these libraries and start working with the next part, right? So once we have imported the libraries, let's read in the data. So we'll say the data that we're calling is sales data, and we'll do a pd.read_csv, and the file name is tractor sales.csv. All right, so we have read in the data. Now guys, mind it, tractor sales.csv, I'm just mentioning the file name here because the file is already in my working directory, right? So if your file is located somewhere else, then please make sure that you're importing the, you're writing the whole path here. Otherwise, it might give you an error in that case if it's not in your working directory already. So let's look at the first 5 observations. Sales underscore data dot head. There you go. That's the number of tractors sold every month for this company, right? So this is our base data that we'll be working with. Now, since the complete data is not mentioned, we will assume that it is what we are seeing here is for the first of the month, right? So let's do some data pre-processing here, right, to make sure that we are getting the things correct. So the idea behind doing this data pre-processing is that we need to convert the data into a time-based format, right, into a temporal format. So what we'll do is we will consider this data, let's say that we got on the 1st of January 2003, so 1st of February 2003, and we'll put that as an index in our data. The next thing is to break down the date into individual components, right? So let's start working with that. So we'll call dates is equals to pd dot date range start is equals to, let's say we are saying it is starting from 2003 0101. The frequency that we are saying here is equals to, so it's monthly, and that's why we're calling it ms. Then we'll say periods is equals to length of sales underscore data, right? So this is basically we are reading the dates from defining a range and a frequency, and till what time do we want to read these dates, right? So if we look at dates, you'll see that it is a date time object which is starting from 01 and the frequency is monthly, right? So that's what we did here. Now let's come on to the next part. The next part is breaking down our data set into individual components. So we'll break down month, we'll break down year, and we'll keep the sales, and we'll drop the original column, right? So let's do import calendar in order to do this, so that we can work with different months and different dates here, right? So sales underscore data month will be equal to dates dot month. So we're extracting the month part of the dates object that we just created. Sales underscore data, next will be month again, and yeah, this will be month again. And what we are doing here is sales underscore data. So we'll apply some operation using the lambda operator, right? So sales underscore data, we'll look at the month variable, we'll do a apply lambda. What is the kind of operation that we're trying to do here is we'll just abbreviate it, right? So we'll keep the short form, we'll not take the full form of that month. So that's the whole objective of doing this. So x calendar dot month underscore ABBRX, right? So this will just convert your actual month, so it will convert from January to Jan. That's the whole purpose of performing this operation. Now let's talk about what we are doing here, right? So let me just figure out what went wrong. So it's saying it's a type error in lambda month ABBR. Are we getting this spellings correct? Calendar dot month ABBR. Yeah, we just actually missed this guy here. So instead of so this is not a function, right? So it's basically from calendar we just importing and applying everything onto X. So we are importing the month ABBR attribute and applying it to all these guys, right? So let's look at sales data again. Right, so we have Jan, so month is Jan, Feb, March, right? Because we have taken the data and just applied the abbreviation on it. The next thing that we have to do is basically take out the year part from this. So sales data year will be equal to dates dot year, so that we extract the dates. Let's look at sales data now. Let's do a head and look at first few observations, right? So we have extracted month, year. Now we have number of tractors sold and this guy. Now we'll just drop the column month here, right? Because we don't need it. We have already taken our data and we have just broken down the month, year into month and year individually. So now the next thing to do is basically drop this guy. So let's do that. So this will be sales underscore data dot drop, which is the month that we are dropping, which is the column that we are dropping. That's month, year, right? We've dropped that. So x is equals to 1 and we have in place equals to true. All right, so we've got an error. So that's typo. That's the reason we're getting the error. Now again there's an error. Month here not found in Access. Okay, so what is it? Y is capital. Yeah, so we got that correct now. Now let's rename our data, right? So we just in this cell block, we'll just rename our data, the columns that we're talking about. So we are renaming them. We'll call the columns, and remember the columns have to be put in as a dictionary. So number of tractors sold, first will be number of tractors sold, and your next column will be tractor sales, right? And we'll do a in place equals to true because we want to make the change in the existing data set only, right? So we got sales data rename. That's perfect. We have renamed our data. Now month, year, and so we have three variables right now, right? So we have sales data, month, year, and tractor sales, right? So let's extract that part. So sales underscore data will be equal to sales underscore data, and we'll use the month, year, and month, year, and tractor sales, the one that we just renamed, tractor sales. All right, there's an error. Tractor sales is not in the index. Okay, so it should be there in the index, right? So because we just replaced it, tractor sales, right? So we need to figure this out, what went wrong here. It's saying that it is not there. So let's just run the sales data before this to see whether it has been renamed or not. Dot head, number of tractors sold, right? So it's not been renamed so far. That's the reason it is giving you an error, right? So sales data dot rename columns is equals to, we have done in place equals to true. We are replacing. Okay, so basically the error here is a very simple one. We've kept it as plural, it's singular. So let's rename this. Now it has been renamed. Now this will also work perfect. So now that we have done this, we have renamed our columns, we've got it in the the required format. We'll just look at everything if everything's correct. Yes, so this is the required format. Now the last thing that I talked about was changing the index from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the dates, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So it's a simple operation. What we'll do is we'll use the set index function on the sales data frame, and we'll just use dates, right, instead of using what you call the index, actual index, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Sales underscore data dot set underscore index. What we are doing here is dates, comma, in place equals to true. sales underscore data dot head. So there you go. Now our index has been formed. Our data set is basically ready to be worked upon for time series.